Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Now, the premise of the film is basically film filler. It fills in between episode 3 and episode 4. So the premise of the film is about Jyn Erso, who after being rescued from a Imperial camp, is asked by the Rebel Alliance mainly to find and rescue Galvin so that the Alliance can learn more about Death Star, who is meant to be her father and has information. Now, pretty much throughout the film, you've got this kind of Guardians of the Galaxy styled group who are mainly outcasts and other people. Mainly, you've got the Blind Warrior, who is kind of like heavily implied to be a Jedi. You've got this guy here who has every armed initials, and this guy who is meant to formerly have been an Imperial officer and mainly defected. And you've also got the kind of love interest here. Now, pretty much what's interesting is that Saw Gerrera, who appeared in the Clone Wars series, actually appears in Rogue One as this guy here. So basically, it's kind of like General Grievous, where he was basically a villain created for the film, for the Clone Wars TV series back in 2003, but made technically into this. So the premise of the film is basically how they find out more about Death Star plans, and it kind of leads them to a bigger, and if not bigger task in getting it, in hopes of destroying the Death Star. Now, I know that pretty much this film explains how the Death Star really got blown up and how there was a failsafe in it. Pretty much I know that in college humor and dorky, they kind of mick-taked it, joked around with it, but now the joke's kind of redundant now thanks to this film. What's interesting as well is also basically the film has Easter eggs, references, and stuff. Because, for example, you've got the actor who played Bail Organa from Star Wars Episode 3, who kind of fills in the role of mentioned in the Clone Wars, and is one of the few actors from the prequels to return for this one. Also, what's interesting as well is you've got this kind of villain here who is kind of portrayed as weak and kind of pathetic, known as Orson Krennic, and his role is basically the villain who will mess up, blame others for his fault, and expects things to get done his way. Now, I do admit Rogue One is quite an enjoyable film. And what's also interesting is when Gonathan Tarkin shows up, his likeness is used from episode 4, and I was quite impressed. I mean, I know they couldn't technically bring back the actor back to life, and I know they technically couldn't, get a replacement actor, but I do understand why they had to recreate his likeness, because it was basically meant to follow in between episode 3 and 4. So I do hope to see what more Star Wars could do, because we are going to be getting a Solo film, and I am actually looking forward to seeing what else they can do with this. So I do give this a good thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. There's so much great stuff about this, and it's one of those perfect film fillers that does so well. So, Comic Review here, signing out.